Hey, hello. Welcome back to another Tech Talk. It's nice to have you here. So as you know, we get together every Friday at 2 p.m. and we have a nice discussion. So technical topics, specific topics, straight to the point, and we have industry experts discussing about that. Today we have, sorry about that. Today we have a very special guest. We have Alain De Wilde from IBM that is going to talk about data virtualization on Cloud Pak for data. So I'm happy to have Alain here, and I'm pretty sure that we are going to learn a lot about TP4D today. The recording of this session is going to be made available soon after the session in the website. So if there is additional material, that is going to be available over there as well. So again, grab a coffee, grab a cookie. This is an open discussion, right? So we can post questions during the chat, or we can ask questions if Alain is okay for that during the presentation. And we really like the feedback that we are giving us. So those sessions are for you, not for us. All right. On that, I'm going to give control to Alain. I'm going to make you presenter.
Okay.
There you go.
And I share my content. I share my screen. Or one of my screens.
Nice screen.
Voila. There it is. Okay. So welcome everybody. Let me first introduce myself. I'm a technical specialist at the IBM Software Group, and that's for the hybrid data management portfolio. And I started in the Stone Ages when every byte used did count. And today I found myself in an era where we want to consume as much data as actually available to be competitive and actually to survive. And given the compute power is not as expensive anymore as it used to be, for many the focus for IT is in the area of availability, speed of delivery, and for sure always having a business focus. And for that, there is a desire and need for simplifying at least at the front end for the business user and for at the front end of the IT people. And actually this session is all about simplifying. I will start with a very briefly explanation what CP4D is, and it's an abbreviation for Cloud Pak for data, as Christian learned this. And I will also focus then within Cloud Pak for data on data virtualization functionality. Then I show you a simple Cloud Pak for data virtualization example, so you get an idea of how it actually works. And I will also show you the result from a more complex data virtualization example, which was created actually with the same ease. So these 4 points is the agenda for today. And maybe it's a good idea that let me. Are you guys still there? Because I get.
Yeah, we are still there. We can see everything.
I didn't fall asleep yet. Go ahead.
No, but my VPN stopped.
So, no, but okay. we still have you. Yeah.
But I'm trying to change my screen, which I did now.
Yeah, you see the demonstration pool.
And maybe I should stop my video. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to actually start with what will be the presentation, just to make sure I get your attention, because what you see now here is a screen with some, of course, fictive information, but actually it's a web screen that is getting now information from, like, I think 8 or 9 different sources, all via a data virtualization. So this application is connecting just to one data virtualization layer, which then goes out and check data which is stored on DB2s in Azure, SQL servers, MongoDB, Postgres, even VSOM files on a mainframe are used just to create this data. So this is actually what we are able to do with our data virtualization. But I stop it for now and we come back to it later on. And we start with the presentation first. Because maybe first an explanation, what are these Cloud Paks? So I mentioned simplification, and simplification needs, among other reasons, actually resulted in what we call this software containerization. And I guess most of you already are aware on containerization, on Kubernetes and all those technology. I believe in the previous session it was for sure already mentioned. But soon enough with this containerization, it became clear that you need a kind of orchestration to all these containers. So IBM did bundle the middlewares in a number of what we call Cloud Paks. And please understand, as hybrid cloud, it can run in whatever you may understand under cloud. So cloud can be IBM cloud, but it also can be Azure, AWS, or an on-prem on your own hardware, or an Cloud Pak system. So a converged system IBM is also selling, which actually combines the hardware and the software. And today, here on the right side of the slide, you see the signs. We have a Cloud Pak for applications, one for data, integration, automation, multi-cloud management, and security. But of course, today I'm going to focus on the Cloud Pak for data. So this Cloud Pak for data is actually built upon Red Hat OpenShift. So this open source based container platform that can practically run everywhere. So that's this layer, the red one. On top of that, we run the foundational services, which is the interface for all the services we provide in the Cloud Pak. So the blue stuff. And then the applications, what we call the services, we put on this, what I should then say the container ship, can be divided in base services and extended services. And these base services are part of the base package of Cloud Pak for data and allows the client to use them as part of the license he had on Cloud Pak for data. So what that means is whatever is in the base package from Cloud Pak for data, you can use for whatever number of cores you actually have a license. So if you have 48 license for 48 cores, you can use this software like DB2 and 24 for the knowledge center, or if you need more for the knowledge center and less for DB2, you can change it. And then we have the extended services, which are the extra services for which you need separate license. But all those fully integrate with our Cloud Pak for data. So once it's just a matter of licensing, but it integrates as it was something of the base service.
I got a question on the course, Alain.
Yep.
You said that you can switch number of cores when you see it fit. Is that something that you can do yourself by means of a dashboard, or is that something you have to ask someone for and then wait until it's done?
Well, all this will be part of the foundational services. So in these foundational services, you will be able to spin up the services you need. And then over there, I will show it in the example for you. If you need for a certain service, you need more cores, you can just spin up more and it will give it to you. Of course, never forget that underneath you had Red Hat OpenShift. To have Red Hat OpenShift, you need underneath the needed hardware, the needed servers. So as long as you have the capacity available, you can shift with your with your software what you will use. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yep. Thanks.
Okay. So with Cloud Pak for Data, we cover actually two customer needs. One is about modernization. So adapt to the new containerized world. If you want to containerize and orchestrate your stuff, Cloud Pak for Data can be very useful. And the other thing about the ladder to AI. So you cannot have any presentation the last 2 years from IBM not having mentioned ladder to AI. And actually it's the process for making data available and trustable, so it can be analyzed and be used for artificial intelligence models. And once you have that stage, you have also the infuse stage where you are able to rolling the AI value up to your business. So this is what we call AI ladder, in which or where collect and connect is the first step and one of the most important one, of course, because no data, no AI. Here you see which kind of services are part of our base package. So the package services are here on this slide in gray. And when we see this slide from bottom to top, you first see this Red Hat OpenShift layer you need, then the control plane for the like I mentioned on previous slide. So it's the administration, and on top of that we have our containers, which are the applications or services, so you want. And the gray ones are the ones that are part of the base package. And then we have the blue ones, which are the extensions provided by IBM, but also third open source containers can be delivered and be made available in our Cloud Pak for Data system. And today in red on the left side, we're going to focus on one of these applications, being the data virtualization, which is kind of key in the complete solution, because in this AI ladder, you see the personas on top. It's just the Cloud Pak for Data system complete package to serve all these personas. Yeah, and depending on which persona you are, you will have availability of some of these services, and for some others you won't have the authorization. But all this comes then together. So the data scientist in the end will need a tool where he can easily get the data he needs, even without he knowing where the data comes from. Yeah, and this all can be delivered by, for example, data virtualization, our Watson knowledge catalog, and then the Watson Studio software. All the IBM hybrid data management portfolio offers, and here you see the ones that are part of Cloud Pak for Data with the red star. So although Cloud Pak for Data will often find his way in companies to manage actually data warehouses to serve for this AI ladder, Cloud Pak for Data is for sure also an option to manage operational database systems. And as you can see, on the left side, the operational databases we have in our portfolio are also part of our Cloud Pak for Data solution. Now, I mentioned data virtualization, and then the question could be, what is the difference between data federation and data virtualization? Data federation, we most probably know already for a long time, and it's part of DB2 for decades. Well, what we say is data federation is a query technology used for the execution of the distributed query, while the data platform is actually an approach where there is no need for knowledge on technical details, and actually the data federation is embedded in it. Now, this data virtualization from Cloud Pak for Data will not only allow you to access from any application, so here on the top, any application data stored and oh, I don't like this analytics and the S on the next line, but okay, that's a detail. So it will allow you to access your data from any application, data stored in any source. So that source can be whatever. It can be IBM sources, open sources, databases, but it can also be Oracle, SQL Server. All that is possible. All via this transparent for the user virtualization layer.
So the connection layer is given by you guys. So you have a port to any whatever source you have.
Yeah.
Or am I
So
getting
that
it wrong?
yeah. So
Okay.
that will from the demo showing you that in the tool, without having to know any technical information, you are able to make a link to where these data sources, and then the user, which might not even know if it's an Oracle database or even a CSV file, will be able to query those data via this virtualization layer. And on top of that, we have what we call this governance, which is made available via the IBM Knowledge Catalog. And this allows you, for example, an example on what this allows you to do. If a data scientist asks, for example, for data about customer sales, yeah, he can be seamlessly be directed to data stored in different sources. It can even be a join of different data sources in different databases, in different clouds, no matter where. Might, via this governance we have there, not be able to see, for example, the bank card information from the customer, since he is not permitted to access that. So this is what our data virtualization allows you in the end to realize. And sorry, confused and the mixed up slide, but I think you got the idea. Do you have any questions on this one?
Not me.
Okay.
No.
So there can be many use cases for data virtualization. For the sake of time, I mentioned now the use case would be is providing your data to your data warehouse users. And you would do that, for example, because you don't want to duplicate the data from the source. So you leave the data maybe in the OLTP system if it's powerful enough. Get the data via data virtualization when somebody needs it. And this way you don't have to duplicate it. This way you can also realize more time access on the data because you don't have to duplicate first. So in the invite, I think we mentioned a few questions we might ask. I did not talk with Christian how we would ask this question via the or during the presentation, or what do you think, Christian?
I think that if that's okay for you, the most effective is that people shoot questions when they have them.
Yeah. Okay. Questions.
Nevertheless, often happens that people realize later on, maybe watching the videos, more that they need more detail, that they contact us by email and I'll let you know. Is that okay?
That's for sure okay. But actually, I'm talking about my 3 questions to you. So it was interactive, not but 2 ways. It would be good for us to know, did you already know about Cloud Pak for data? Do you have customers using containerized software? And are some of them using data virtualization solutions? So feel free, maybe that's maybe the easiest thing during the presentation. Just mention maybe in the chat if you have something to mention on this. Okay?
Excellent.
Okay. Now the Cloud Pak for data experience. So I already saw in live, so it just goes after all the data. And here you have the overview in a DB2 database on Azure. Actually, two DB2 databases on Azure, a DB2 database on AWS, an on-prem Mongo database, another Informix database, and even a VSAM-Z file. And in the newest demo that was created, we added even Netezza and some other stuff as well. So this is all capable using data virtualization. But that I will show you but to show you how I do this or how we can create this, I made a very easy example. What I will do, if my demo environment is working well, I will first create a connection to my own Cloud DB2 database. That's the one here on the right. So I will show you to create a virtualization connection. In there, I will create two tables. I call it Discover and one Discover label. Discover will be just one column table with a number in it, and the Discover label will explain the number. And in a DB2 database, part of our Cloud Pak for Data system, we also have two Discover tables. Yeah. So imagine you have data, sales data, or I don't know what for data in 3 different regions. In one region, you store it in a cloud database. For 2 other regions, you store it in your on-site Cloud Pak for Data database. But in the end, you want to have reports on it, or your data science people need to use it and don't have to be aware that this data is stored on different sites. What we're going to do, we're going to union the data from the Discover tables, and we're going to join it with our Discover label. So the first step of my demo, I will create these tables using Cloud Pak for Data stuff and go around Cloud Pak for Data to show you what it actually is. Then I will virtualize these newly created tables, and then I will show you I can use it from in Cloud Pak for Data, but I can also use it very easily from outside Cloud Pak for Data. That's the idea. And if I then have some extra time available, I might show you some more stuff. I might even use just a CSV file and then create a layer on it, and then just use DB2 statement, SQL statements on a CSV file. Okay, let me stop this then. And go to my demo. Okay, so what you see is the demo environment. So I mentioned in the beginning, it is running on Redshift, on OpenShift from Red Hat. And that needs also quite some hardware or some virtualization environments. There is kind of minimum you really will need to be able to set up a Cloud Pak for Data system. And also, companies go for simplification and extra power. Compute power is less. So you won't hear me say that you can do with the same number of hardware, the same things, but you get the simplicity. And setting up a Cloud Pak for Data system here in this demo environment implied here that we have a load balancer, 3 master nodes, and 5 worker nodes. The part where Cloud Pak for Data will be installed on. Yeah? So software running in this Cloud Pak for Data will be using OpenShift, using Cloud Pak for Data system, will be spread over all the servers. Of course, they will also be able to create this way high availability, because part of the OpenShift functionality is making sure you are always on, and if you see that an environment fails, he will bring it up again on one of available worker node. For my demo, we also have an NFS server, and then 2 VMwares where we installed Informix, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, MySQL, and an Enterprise DB Postgres. On this screen is just a web application screen that is testing if environments that we will use in this demo are up and running. So here it gives you a nice overview also of which kind of technology or source we're going to use for the demo, or we did use for the demo. So AWS, for those who thought we cannot have DB2 on Azure and AWS, yes, we can. And of course, we have also MongoDB, Postgres, and MySQL. This screen I already showed you. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to actually log on my IBM Cloud Pak for Data system. For the sake of time and make it not too complex, many things with the admin password or the admin user. So it gives you the complete overview. I mentioned in the beginning, depending on which kind of user you are, type of user, you might see or have no access to some stuff. So here with the admin user, I can do administration, I can do the collect stuff, I can do the organize stuff, and I can do the analyze stuff. Remember, I was mentioning the AI ladder. So all this is provided in the Cloud Pak for Data system. If I would do this same demo next month, to do it in the 3.5 environment, here I'm still on the 3.0. Just 2 weeks ago, 3.5 came out. So whenever I'll have to mention this might be better, I will refer to the 3.5 because they pick up a lot of remarks or advices from customers, and we optimizing every version the Cloud Pak for Data systems. So first thing first, I will show you the connections. But I will show you via Data Virtualization. Okay, so I have two types. I have the table view and the constellation view. What we actually see here are the connections from within the Data Virtualization node to all this system, which are in Azure, which are so some in cloud, some part of the Cloud Pak for Data system. But what I don't have here yet, normally, is or I do have it, but I will. I'm going to throw it away so I can create it again. Remove. So actually here are all the connections already made, but I said I want to start the demo showing you I can add a new connection. So I will connection name and DB2 warehouse. The Mindbridge demo. It be not an Amazon Redshift, not a Big SQL, not a Cloudera Impala, not a ZTS system. So I have all the systems here available to which I can connect. It's a DB2 warehouse on cloud. And now I have to know the host name. So let me pick it up. So the only thing I have to the host name and the port, which is 50,000. It's the name of the database, my username 94877, and the password. I can test my connection. Test connection was successful, so I created. So now I have in this constellation view, I have here my extra one I just created. So for the demo, use one from the cloud, and I would use a DB2 system that is already part of the Cloud Pak for Data system. So let me show you that Cloud Pak for Data DB2 system. I go to My Data, I go to Databases, and in Cloud Pak for Data, we have DB, DB2 OLTP stocks database, and a third one. Via, in this 3.5 version, we towards a database, so you can explore and do some basic stuff from in the GUI from Cloud Pak for Data on this DB2. Next version will use more and more the database management console. Anyway, if you don't find what you need via the GUI in this version, of course we can use external software as well if you to manage your DB2 system. So, but as you can see here, I can do some basic stuff. Monitoring is normally on. These are my database systems I will use. So, next, I will create my tables. What you see me doing. So I mentioned we have collect, analyze, and everything you do, you can put together via a project. So what I do here is I open my projects, and there is a project Data Virtualization Hands-on Lab, in which I prepare a notebook, a Jupyter notebook, that will contain the statements I need to create these tables I will use for my demo. So remember, creating this table and those two tables, so those two tables in the cloud and these two tables in my system here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the environment to run a notebook. I put an environment. I hope, should I make the screen or the letters for everybody readable now?
I can read it.
Okay, well, maybe okay. Next, this statement, what I do here is kind of SQL macros in Python that makes afterwards easier to run in Python, in this Python notebook, DB2 commands. So I just run the DB2 IPN, and those commands are now available. Setting some variables to connect to my cloud database. I will bring in my password. Okay, connected. So what you actually see me doing now is in a notebook, which is part of the Cloud Pak for Data environment, which is part of the complete solution. I'm running DB2 SQL commands to create some tables, nothing more, nothing less. So one table, discover, I put values from 21 to 30 in it. Then I create the one for the libellés, in which I only have 3 different values from 11 to 20, from 21 to 30. So each time 10 columns. And if I in the end join those two tables I have in my cloud database, you can see 21 till 30 and a libellé. So these two tables, DMG 94877 discover libellé is created. All not that important, do not know password. Okay. So here they okay, that's from 7 is from a, so let me take 8. I do run. So here I just set my schema name for the other tables I will create. and I will create. Fine. So here I have just created 2 more discover tables. A data engine B as table schema, and one will have from 11 till 20, and one will have from 1 till 10. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So I go now to virtualization, data virtualization. I can leave the page. And I'm going to virtualize. Here on the right, you see all the potential source systems that can be part of my virtualization. And I need tables with the name discover. So this is from a previous demo. So I take 8A, this one I'm going to need for virtualization. I add it to my card. I view my card. I'm going to use a new schema name that does not exist yet. ADV8. So I create this. So what I'm doing now is create a virtualization environment, links or towards those tables I created in the beginning of the demo.
Why will we be using virtual tables? What is the benefit of that kind of stuff?
Well, actually, what we do here is we bring those tables as part of our virtualization environment. And from then onwards, we can connect to our data virtualization environment and have the data we need. For example, Eddie, if I should not create here this data virtualization and a user not actually aware that some data is in the cloud, some data is on another system, he should connect different environments. In this example, he will connect to our Cloud Pak for data virtualization layer and being able to connect to all those data. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, some kind of aliasing. So you give it a name in your common database, and what it points to underneath is none of your concern. Something like that.
Correct. And as I said, also the extra you get is we have also the knowledge catalog on it. Via the knowledge catalog, you might be able then to allow certain people to connect to some data and not to other data, or to connect to the data and actually mask part of the data because he does not have the correct authorization to see some data.
Clear, thanks.
Yeah. So now I just have the 4 tables already virtualized. Yeah. What I'm now going to do is what we actually need just one table where in the end our data scientist will connect to get his results. He should not in need to know where all this data is, and he should not be in need to join this data neither. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to group tables. The discover table, I'm going to group them. And see now, you're going to group 5 tables. which is not what we want, because I only want to union data engineer A and B, the ones I created, and the one I created in the cloud. So just 3 tables. I'm going to put it in the same schema name, and I'm going to give it the name Discover All. I'm going to put it again in my project, make it available there, and I'm going to virtualize. So now I have also created a Discover All table. I'm going to even have a preview of it. And I will see here, it combines data. I can see it's only one column, and I can also see it's created from 3 source schemas and 2 source databases. Now my last step I need is I want to, using the labels on, so actually I'm going to say here, I join that. I make the link. I am able to put something in the where clause this time. I say next. I get an example of the join. I put it in the same project, and I'm going to put it in the same schema name, and I'm going to give it a name over all with label page view. There we go. View my virtualized data. So now I have this one, preview. See, I have it. What I also can do now, show you, is the one I just created. I can go and start using it, run select in my SQL editor. More, see, no less. And for those who are saying, oh, those GUIs too complex, or I can use it for easy stuff, correct. But of course, once you have your sources available, you can create whatever view, of course, without the GUI as well. And you can directly type it in an editor, which I'm now doing. Actually, I'm also going to create kind of view me only the data for which the value is more than 15. If that's okay, then I should be able to run selected. So for those who didn't like the GUI, see, you can view in one command and you get the same result. Now, I mentioned it's a solution for the AI ladder. So in the end, somebody gonna need the data and maybe some stuff for for artificial intelligence or BI, and you want to use it. And one popular tool we all know are the notebooks, and popular language is Python. I'm gonna do now. So I'm going to create a notebook. I'm part of this project where I just have put earlier my virtualizations in. There's the Mindbridge. And I say create a notebook. Also handy is that, of course, everything we create here is shared in this one project. So it's an added value of also. And if all is well, the stuff I created earlier on, I can now easily say, give it me in a data frame, go and fetch this data from this DB2 table and give it to me in a data frame. Just one click, select my files, and he comes with the needed code to go and fetch the data. I set 7, which was actually not the data we took. So let me do this again. This one. So if I run this one, see my data frame with the data. Only that's part for those who know Python, because he only gave me the header. So here, all for a data scientist or an analytics people in a data frame, and it came from 2 different databases, one in the cloud and one from Cloud Pak for data, but very transparent for the one that's using it now. Now, this can be good, but it's part of the Cloud Pak for data solution. What I'm now going to do, sorry, there's some stuff from WebEx in my way. Okay. What you see here actually is Jupyter Notebook outside of Cloud Pak for data. And normally now, be able to bring in the same macros I have to make it easy to connect to run SQLs from in the notebook. And as you can see now, I can start querying those data, those virtualized data in Cloud Pak for data from practically anywhere, as long as I connect, which was the first part. I have put it in another macro so you could not see the connection strings. Easily run all those stuff, all those queries from outside Cloud Pak for data. I will not go into detail on authorization. The only thing I will do is I created as an admin. As far as I know, I did not grant any authorizations to somebody else. Authorizations cannot be for data, but here I show you no authorization. You won't be able to access the data either. That brings me to some more nice stuff. I might just show you. Let me see, I have 10 more minutes. Huh? Where am I? Okay, here on my Cloud Pak for data. Okay, before I show you some details of the notebook that actually execute the queries for this nice dashboard I show you in the beginning, I want to show you something else. Data virtualization. And I think it's quite handy because often if you have a lot of semi-structured data, data, they always think we have to store it in Hadoop or something of that, and then being able to connect to that data. What I think is with object storage also becoming more and more popular, useful now that we can connect to those data via our data virtualization tool also. So I said virtualize. Here in the beginning, I used tables, but here I can also say files. So we have a file server connected to it, on which I have upfront a file. Where did I store it? Downloads, I believe. Okay. So I stored actually data that I got from Garmin. So this is just a CSV. Yeah, I can easily say also add to cart, view my cart, put it in my same schema, give it the name Garmin ADW December, for example. I've put it in my same project and I virtualize. Let's go to the project. So from now on, you don't even have to know it, but I can also use Garmin ADB December, which is actually just a CSV file, which I think it's quite handy as well. Okay, something else I wanted to show you is the Beaver, because I believe we are anyway with a lot of technicians here in the call. I did not mention you up till now how we realize data virtualization. So I said it was a layer up federation, yeah, federation which is part of DB2 for a long time. For a long time, we also have what we call Big SQL, which is actually also a kind of DB2 system. The core of the technology is DB2. What I do here via this popular tool, dbeaver, is I made the connection to the system, actually the underneath system for data virtualization. So for data virtualization, the underneath system we use is Big SQL. So what you can see now, if I connect immediately to this Big SQL, that a number of the links and the sources I made and the views I made, you can actually view them over here. So some are created as the basic ones as nicknames, and the more complex ones are views. So that is quite handy as well if you want to manage it from outside Cloud Pak for data, or get an easier view, or use here now the tool often use, for example, generate DDL or SQL. So you can do it from outside our Cloud Pak for data system. Okay. Next, I can. Any questions in the meantime? Because I try to say as much as possible in 1 hour, but please stop me if you have a question or get some explanation on things that were not clear.
You mentioned the term data frame, I think, and I cannot put a definition onto it.
Yeah, which is normal because we are not the data science people, but part of the Python language is what they often use are data frames. So they just pull in a number of, and once it's in a data frame, it's actually also a kind of table. They can use very handy Python statements to what we call wrangle the data. So make it more as you need it. So kick out the stuff that is incorrect, whatever that is needed before they have a good file. And that often they do with the data frame. And that is actually what we used here in the example as well in the note. I'm actually looking now. View all 33. Show more. So what I actually used as a demo environment here actually is what is set up for us also to use when we want to give some training. So I just used, in fact, it's a lab which we can offer, and then people can connect to the system themselves and do the exercise themselves. And I'm scrolling through a few things here. First I have to do edit. because actually this is kind of a promotion as well for notebook usage as a deep database administrator. I think it can be very handy. Functions, I wanted to use them, but I didn't activate. Sorry for scrolling now a little bit harder, but don't worry, not that important what I'm doing now. Run. Okay, go down again, and then I explain what I'm doing. Okay, so what I did here now is connecting again to my virtualization environment, and I'll show you actually as a kind of proof. I showed you in the beginning that dashboard. Okay, it's over now. To show you some of the queries that we use on that dashboard, but I must have done something in between wrong, or maybe not. Okay, so here you see that I execute stock history, and here we explain that query is actually executed on SkyTab, an Informix system. And here we execute some more on an Informix system. And during this lab, actually, they explain how they come executing all the queries they needed for this end dashboard. So building the queries you need and then use it in the end in just one application. So for Eddie as well, as you can see, if you know the Python language, you write just a query and another tick, and you get graphs on it. It's quite powerful. Good. I think looking to my paper, the only thing I'm not gonna demonstrate, but I want to mention is you might see that you connect to kind of OLTP system. You have put a virtualization layer on an OLTP system, and you don't want your 100 users connecting to that system to get the data out of that system. When you create a data virtualization, you can also cache. So on top of the virtualization, we have cache management. If you see in your monitor that some queries are running too much or are taking too long, from within this tool, you can check which queries, and then you put a virtualization layer on it. What did I say? A cache on it. I think I should come to the end and ask you again. Any question, feedback on the presentation or on what you did see? And sorry, I'm 2 minutes late, but.
No problem. Those were very good 2 extra minutes. So questions, comments?
I'm curious on how I can use something like this in our job. I think it's a bit harder as a DBA to find an immediate purpose for all this.
As a DBA, yes. So, and actually that's most probably what we're seeing now is there might be quite some resistance, and don't think about Cloud Pak for data. Just think about this first thing, containerizations. So we have a number of people here in the call, which are all specialist technicians in databases. I didn't see anything in the chat. I don't know if any of you already worked with a database, a containerized database. Most probably, when it comes to containerizations, database will be the last one who will who make the jump towards containerization. That is, if you manage yourself your database, because guess what's happening currently already for years. So all those environments are containerized environments, which the cloud provider can easily spin up and bring down when you don't need them anymore. So correct, Eddie, for the system DBA, it's probably not something you think you're gonna need fast, because it's simplification and you want to know what's happening. But I do think there is this stream going to containerization, and there I think it's good to have knowledge on containerization and on OpenShift and on Cloud Pak for data. That simplifies then the job.
Yeah, I do follow the containerization. That is something that is inevitable, I guess. It's just that we are at the point where we make sure that the data is available and not as much as working with the data. I think if you are working with the data, then I'm sure that you will need this kind of stuff, because you have to get your information from all over the place. And then a tool like this is what you need more.
Correct, and actually, as I said, we have these different personas. The idea is that the persona that needs it, that, for example, a data steward or well, it should not always be the great technicians, that data available. Yeah? We put layers, and then depending on your authorization, you can start using this data. One thing is for sure, one day you will come in a company, Eddie, where they're going to use containerization, and when they're going to use a kind of end-to-end solution from connecting to the data, make it available, and create some models, being data in a warehouse or on an OLTP system. It's quite, well, customers are quite looking in it.
I have no doubt.
Any other questions?
All right, excellent. Hey, thank you very much, Alain.
Welcome. I'm glad I could bring the story on what we think that's gonna be interesting for you guys to get some more knowledge on it, because it's coming.
Understood. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Bye-bye.
Alain.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.